Good afternoon to you. Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com here with your hurricane outlook and discussion. Sunday, September 6, 2020. Boy, do we have a lot to talk about today. It is going to be a very busy week coming up in the world of weather, not just in the tropics, but also for lower 48 weather. I will get to that part in just a few minutes. So let's just jump right in and take a look at the 5-day outlook. You can see sort of a glimpse of it here in this nice title card provided to me, by one of our supporters from over in the UK. Pretty awesome that I have this on a daily basis. Thank you very much, Kari, for taking the burden off of me. It doesn't seem like much to put together a graphic, but minutes count when you have a big family like me and a business to run, and it really, really is helpful. So there you go. And so as we look at the Hurricane Center, wow, look at all that. I mean, it's peak time. Luckily, no major impacts coming up anytime soon, but I do think we're going to have a huge increase in the seasonal ACE output. And I'm going to spend just a minute or two here explaining this. So we know that we've had 15 named storms already. 5 of those have become hurricanes. One of those hurricanes became a major hurricane, and that was, of course, Laura. The ACE, or accumulated cyclone energy, is the quantitative measurement of how much energy is expended by tropical cyclones. So, we look at the quality, how strong were they, how long did they last, and related to the quantity, how many have we had. And right now, a lot has been made in the media and on the social media front, and rightfully so, that we've had a lot of named storms. It has shown us that the Atlantic Basin has been very favorable for, ever since May. And some of these storms are very weak, very short-lived, and because of modern satellites, we're able to detect them. And they only added 1 or 2 ACE points because they were tropical storms. Laura, on the other hand, was a 150 mile per hour, maybe stronger than that, we'll see in the post-analysis in the months ahead. But Laura became a Cat 4, and it could have been a big ACE producer, but it didn't last a long time. And so as an example, if you have a very powerful hurricane that starts out here and as a tropical depression and becomes a strong hurricane all the way across, this is just an example, and then it makes landfall across Galveston, kind of like Ike, and avoids land interaction and whatever, and it becomes a major hurricane here and stays a major hurricane until there, you could get an ACE score from that one hurricane that is higher than some entire hurricane seasons. 50, 60, 70 ACE points from just one hurricane. Irma in 2017 is a great example of a very high ACE producing hurricane. Ike, Ivan, and others in history. And then as the season goes, you add all that up and you get a seasonal ACE score, which right now is running a little bit above the long-term average. But I think what's going to happen in the week ahead, these are not going to be anything to really be concerned with. There will be some impacts, and I'm going to address those in a moment. But these, and then a third party to be named later, which is coming, are going to really start to crank up the ACE, because we're going to have some strong hurricanes out of these, and they are going to roam around the Atlantic for several days. And the third part of that, there's going to be 3 of them going at once. All right? So our new super tracking map that one of our other supporters, Will, also from the UK. What is it with the UK this year? Thumbs up for you guys. Really chipping in and making some things happen for us. Our tracking map, I call it our super tracker. It's just an awesome tracking map for our patrons and our Hurricane Track Insider folks. It's going to be really busy this week, that is for sure. So here's the 4 systems that we've got. Get rid of me for a minute. Let's take a look at it from this perspective. Almost forgot I had this. I'm telling you, this is dated the 5th. This is always a day behind. But the upper ocean heat content, which is what this map is indicating, anything in this little shaded color here, all the way out even to the far reaches of the subtropical Atlantic, all of that is warm enough for strong hurricanes. It absolutely is. So lots and lots of warm water in the western Atlantic. And this doesn't show warm water. This shows this upper ocean heat content. And all of these values through here are very, very high and can support intense hurricanes. Even in the Gulf here, where Laura and Marco kind of stirred things up, it's still high enough. The actual temperatures in the low to mid 80s. The ocean heat content extends deep down into the ocean, 50 to 100 meters deep or more. We have a long way to go. So even though you're going to hear a lot about fish storms turning between 40 and 60 longitude this coming week, somewhere in this alley, we're going to have a lot of recurves, or just curves, whatever. It's not a recurve, it's a curve. They're going to curve out to sea, I think, most of these systems. It's not a lock, but it certainly is looking that way. You're going to hear a lot about that. And, you know, that's a good thing, because if they all hit land, nobody could live at the coast. But it's coming. Big-time ace producers coming up. So we got this system here, well on its way to becoming a tropical depression, probably within the next 12 to 24 hours or so. And I think this one's 92L. You know what? Let's just make sure, in the interest of accuracy. Let me pull up the old guidance product homepage here. Current active storms. That one is 92L. That's what I thought. Just making sure. And the one that's coming off the coast of Africa is 93. All right, just making sure I've got everything straight. So here's 92L. This is 93L. And boy, that's got some definite rotation. We've got this very prominent monsoon trough out here, just a grapevine of energy and vorticity and moisture. And it's, you know, September. The wind shear is lower. Dry air is harder to come by. We are absolutely, I am convinced of it, going to go into the Greek alphabet. By the end of the week ahead, we will probably add 4 more named storms. I really think so. And so that'll take us through, let's see, the next one's P, and then R, and then S, and then T. We're going to be to Teddy, I think, by the end of the week. 1 week from today. Let's just look at it that way. 7 days from now, we should be to Teddy, which will leave us 2 more. Vicky and Wilfred or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, or Willifred, whatever it is. The W replaces Wilma. I think, right? Is this the... No, this isn't the 2005. I don't know. It is Teddy, Vicky, Wilfred, or something like that. When I do my update tomorrow, I'll make sure I look at the names. I try to be accurate, but I don't remember every little detail every moment of the day. There's just too much going on. Bottom line is we're going to get to T, I believe, within the next 7 days. And we're only going to be in mid-September. I mean, come on. We still have more than a month during peak time. There is the distinct possibility that when we get to the Greek alphabet and we start using alpha and alpha, beta, gamma, delta, right? Something like that. I better brush up on that too. I believe we will have an impact from a Greek storm. That's the first time in history that that will have happened. That's coming later. I mean, we're not done. There's no way we're done. The pattern might be different now, where we're going to get these systems turning out somewhere in this alley, somewhere through here, but that's not going to stick around. And eventually we're going to get that monsoon trough that develops over here, and the Central American gyre. That all comes in latter September. And the pattern's going to be such that we're going to get hit again. We being the United States, we being the islands, there's more to come. And I'm not trying to scare you, I mean, this is just the way it is. We are in this pattern where we're going to have a lot of hurricanes, and we got to be on top of it. We're just so happen to be catching a break where I don't think these have a chance to make it to the United States. I could be wrong, but the pattern favors an alley of recurvature through here. All right? So as I say that, let's look at the vorticity. Oh yeah, there's the energy, 92L, 93L. This is the other little system, eventually going to be 94L, unless something over Africa becomes 94L. And this is going to make its way back towards the Carolina coast as a little impulse. Might become a named storm, wouldn't surprise me. Water temperatures back this way, plenty warm. And, cyclogenesis, the model's ability to sniff out the birth of these systems has been terrible this year. So we'll see. All right, let's look at the ECMWF, the Euro, and what it depicts over the next several days. Here is our system southeast of Bermuda. Here is 92L. Here is 93L. Back over Africa is eventually another system. That's the leftover signature, I think, of Omar. And then here's our big sprawling area of high pressure centered pretty far to the north up here. I mean, that's the Azores. The Azores Islands. There's the Azores there. So we just don't have this deep, sprawling high spread out like this right now to keep all of these systems chugging west towards land masses. And it goes without saying, I mean, as interesting as it is to track these systems, I do not like it when they impact people and hurt them and break their stuff. Who likes that? Maybe there's some people that do, that are slightly off kilter. I mean, whatever. But we don't like that. They are exciting to track. They are beautiful to see from space, the anticipation of them, etc. But what they do when they cross land, and it's not just to the human landscape and our ability to function, but they disrupt the natural landscape. And so there's nothing we can do about it. That's the bottom line in terms of stopping them. And don't even get started. Oh, there's a way. There's not, okay? But we can adapt and survive. And the number one goal is to keep you alive when one of these comes visiting your area. So we got a lot coming. That's the stage. This is the initial condition. Here's 24 hours out. And we notice a couple things. This is tomorrow morning, Monday morning, Labor Day. There's our little impulse southwest of Bermuda there. There's Bermuda there. So we're going to watch that. You never know. This will probably be TD16 or whatever. This is a very rapidly developing system, TD17. This could be TD18. I mean, it is going to be a wild, busy week in the tropics. 48 hours out. This, we'll see. It's going to be really interesting. And it's going to get trapped here as the mid-level ridging builds off the east coast. It's going to kind of make its way back towards the Carolinas. Meanwhile, Paulette maybe, and Renee, I think it is, and eventually the S storms over here. Maybe that's the S storm. Wow, big week. That's 48 hours. Here's 72 hours. This system gets flattened out in the overall vorticity field. Maybe. We'll see. This is a big, strong trough coming in out west, which we'll talk about in a moment. But this one is very curious. I'm going to put a question mark there. That could be interesting. And then here's our two definite name storms, and then another piece of energy coming off. And we're only to Wednesday morning here. Here's Thursday morning. There's the system off the Carolina coast. Probably an invest at the very least, and maybe even a depression by then. 96 hours out. The models have not been very good, so we'll see. Now, normally you would look at this and say, man, look at that pressure pattern there. You got high pressure building in, pretty deep ridging there. But it's displaced fairly far to the north. You got this little piece of energy over here kind of knocking down the ridge. It's just not that stout. And again, that's definitely good news. I mean, it is. These are going to curve out more than likely. This system, I don't know. We'll see. It's pretty far in the pipeline. And we're going to go out to day 5 here. That is kind of hard to say for sure. So by day 5, this takes us out to Friday morning. Little impulse there off the Carolina coast. Name storm, eventually a name storm. So that could be 1, 2, 3, 4 by Friday. Wouldn't surprise me at all. So that would take us through P, R, S, and T. We don't use QU and, QU, X, Y, and Z, 5 letters, in the naming convention for North Atlantic tropical cyclones. The National Hurricane Center works with the World Meteorological Organization, part of the United Nations, and they decide on all of this. And QU, X, Y, Z, just apparently not enough names to keep it unique. So that's why we go to the Greek alphabet. And we're headed there. It's coming. And like I said, it's not going to surprise me at all that Hurricane Beta makes landfall wherever, and we're in a hurricane beta. Wouldn't that be something? Maybe an alpha. We'll worry about that later. All right, so that's the tropics. Now, check this out. I have a huge surprise for you. First of all, the weather's going to deliver a surprise. If you know your geography, this is the Four Corners region of the United States. This is the great state of Kansas, right here. That is Colorado, right there. All right? And you got the Front Range, and then sitting in here is Denver. Denver, Colorado, the mile-high city. Look what's coming in the next few days. Today it's toasty out there. Going to be in the 90s. But coming down out of Canada is a very strong and vigorous cold front that moves down into the Rockies, into the Front Range, etc. And it's going to bring snow and cold and wind and all kinds of mayhem. And I am going to be there for it. All right. Why am I going to be able to be there for it? First of all, I am a physical geographer. That's what my degree says right there. It's over there on the wall. I could pull it off, but it'll make a lot of racket. I have a degree in geography. I studied weather, climate as my focus, and then the emphasis was hurricanes because that's my specialty. You understand? I am interested in all kinds of weather. I'm a weather geek. I also now have, thanks to crowdfunding, the ability to do whatever I want to do. Finally, for the first time in my career, oh, the plane ticket's $580? No problem. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about not paying the rent, well, the mortgage in this case, my car payment, my kids' tuition, the food on the... You get the idea. And it is all thanks to you guys on Patreon and the world of crowdfunding. I am headed to Denver, Colorado tomorrow morning on a jet plane. I'm a Fly American. I'm taking equipment with me, the same type of equipment that I would use in hurricanes, except I'm not taking any wind instruments. I cannot take those on the plane, unfortunately. I'm going to take 2 live camera systems plus the vehicle cam. And I'm probably going to run the live 360 cam the entire time. We'll have to see. I want to make sure I get the resolution right and all that. I'll take the backup Nest cam just in case. But I'm going to go out and I'm going to cover this event. And it's going to be really, really fascinating. You see what this does. It comes in and then it's able to dissipate. Hopefully I can fly out. Denver, I'm sure, does a good job of cleaning the airport up. I got to fly out Wednesday, so that's Wednesday morning. There's Wednesday about when I would fly out. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. 1033 millibar high. Whew, that's going to be crazy. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set these cameras up when I get there, somewhere out anywhere from western Kansas into the Denver area. I've only got 2 live cams, so I got to spread them out. Probably one near Denver and then one out on 70 somewhere, Interstate 70. I'm going to figure it out with some different people. It's not just the crowdfunding, by the way. It's the crowdsourcing of information. People contribute to the consensus as to what to do, where to be. We all help each other, and I'm just the front man of the band, if you will. I'm going by myself, but, you know, that's fine. I can handle it. I'm looking forward to it tremendously. Jack Sillen, who is blogging for us, he's also doing some work for the Hurricane Tracker app. Not related to us. Hurricane Tracker is a separate entity. That app's been around a long time, very successful on the App Store and Google Play, I believe. So Jack does some independent freelance work for them, and we're very fortunate that he does some of the same for us. So tomorrow morning, Jack's going to post a solid update there on Patreon. He will alert me, and a little while after, I'll post that on public social media as well. We'll make the post public. So this is a real treat for our patrons. They're going to get to have access to all the raw feeds. We'll have the live YouTube going as well for the public. I'm going to take several of those drop pressure sensors and temperature sensors. They actually record pressure, temperature, humidity, dew point. And because this is not a hurricane, I'm going to literally tack a few of them up on some fence posts all around the area, maybe 10 of them. And we're going to nail this thing from a data perspective. And Brent, he doesn't know this yet because he's on a plane going back to the VI. I'm getting ready to go into what might be a blizzard. Oh my gosh. I mean, just saying that's like crazy. But I'm not going just to chase the storm. We're going to collect data from it, all right? And I'm going to hand that all over to Brent. I'm going to put it all on a server. I mean, we're really going to do some amazing stuff. So as I get ready to sign off here, I encourage you now more than ever, join that movement. Help us out. It's a collective effort. We get to work together. That's how you do it. Patreon.com/HurricaneTrack. The link directly to it's in the video description. Sign up. Become a sustaining supporter of this. You can set whatever level you want. You can even create your own. You know, if you want to go in and contribute a few $100s a month just during hurricane season, or $1. It doesn't matter. Everything adds up. It is an accumulating, an incredible thing. It's a cumulative process is what I'm trying to say. And it yields results. And I know that I'm known for hurricanes, but I'm telling you, we're going to be able to do a lot. The wildfires out west, if that continues on through hurricane season's ending, you know, once it gets to November, maybe we can figure out a way to start covering that as well, although that is extremely dangerous, and that's a topic for another day entirely. But it has me intrigued as an earth scientist, as a physical geographer. I want to cover as much as I can and not just chase it. Storm chasing, yeah, that's fine. That's an interesting concept, but I want to immerse you in it. I want to bring the data to the table, and I want to understand the impact and bundle it all up into something that is not available anywhere else. That's what we're doing. And to get involved, that's how you do it right there. So, all right. So thank you all. I mean, here we go. Surprise. And we'll be watching the Tropics at the same time. You're literally making my dreams come true, and it'll benefit a lot of people as we all work together. All right. All right. I'm going to shut up and post this. I am Mark Sept. As always, thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate your time. For HurricaneTrack.com and all this other weather stuff, we may have to come up with a new name for all of this. Who knows? Maybe that's what we're headed for. But for now, HurricaneTrack.com. That's me, Mark Sept. I'll talk to you some more tomorrow.